Hi everyone, thank you very much indeed for joining me. My name is Glenda Young and I am a Sunderland author, and I'm absolutely delighted to be taking part in Sunderland Library's Literature Festival this year. I'm here to launch my cosy crime book, which is set in Scarborough, and here it is. It's called Murder at the Seaview Hotel. I'll tell you a little bit about the book in a moment. Some people might recognise my name because I write historical sagas which are set in Ryhope. Ryhope was where I was born and bred. And I am still writing the sagas, and I have given a talk on the sagas for the Literature Festival as well. You'll be able to find it on my YouTube channel if you missed it and you'd like to see it. Now, I'm giving this online talk and I'm going to try and do it all in one take, so bear with me if I stumble over my words or I get a bit confused. I'm going to try and do it without any edits, so let's see how we go. So why did I start writing cosy crimes when I've already been very successful? In fact, I'm absolutely over the moon to say a best-selling author in the national UK top 50 bestseller charts. So why did I change from cosy crimes from my best-selling sagas? Well, it was in lockdown last year when things were pretty grim and we were all stuck at home. And I had so much time on my hands to do writing that I finished the saga that I was writing for Headline, the publisher. I finished it well ahead of schedule because I had so much time, and I just dedicated myself to my books. So I was left sort of twiddling my thumbs in the summer of 2000, and I had always had in the back of my mind the fact that I wanted to write a comedy story set in Scarborough, which is a place I absolutely adore, and I'll tell you why in a moment when I get onto the book. So I always had it in the back of my mind that I had this story to tell that was set in a bed and breakfast in Scarborough, and it would be a comedy, and it would be about Elvis impersonators who stay in this bed and breakfast. And I drew up a synopsis for this comedy book and sent it to my agent, and she sent it back saying it had the bones of a really good book and a really good structure, but she encouraged me to think about adding some real heft and some weight to it. And it was her idea. She said, why not kill off one of the Elvis impersonators? And I got a bit scared. I thought, I've not written crime before, I don't really know how to do it. Then I thought, well, I didn't know how to write my historical sagas set in Ryhope until I did it. So I read as much as I could about writing cosy crimes. I knew I couldn't, or I didn't want to do a hard-boiled crime book. I didn't want to write anything gory, frightening, didn't want lots of blood. I knew I wanted to write a cosy crime, and that's exactly what I did. So we've got 12 Elvis impersonators who turn up at the Seaview Hotel, which is a fictional hotel. If you know Scarborough, you'll probably recognise the picture of the Grand Hotel on the front, but that's just the image that the publisher used. The Seaview Hotel is completely fictional. It's a small bed and breakfast, 10 rooms, and the story opens with the hotel owner, the lady called Helen Dexter. Her husband's just died, and he was called Tom, and he was a huge Elvis Presley fan. So the book opens with Helen's dilemma. Her husband's just died. Does she stay in Scarborough and run the hotel on her own, or does she sell up and move on? She's at a crossroads, doesn't know what to do. And then she takes a booking from a group of 12 Elvis impersonators. They're called Twelvers. So you already know the book is going to be, there's going to be some fun going on. So she takes this booking from 12 Elvis impersonators, and she takes that as her sign from Tom that she should stay and run the hotel. So when the Elvis impersonators are staying at the Seaview Hotel with Helen Dexter, and she's got a rescue greyhound called Suki as well, one of them ends up dead and his blue suede shoes are missing. So Helen and the remaining 11 Elvis impersonators, or 11s if you like, I might edit that bit out, they set about trying to find the murderer, and it's, like I say, it's a lot of fun. You'll just sink into it and you'll just romp away with the story, because you can probably tell, I had so much fun writing it, and I really hope the reader enjoys it as much as I did, and much as I enjoyed writing it. So every morning when I sat down to write a chapter during lockdown last year, I listened to an Elvis track, and I tried to pick a track that was in some way related to the chapter that I was writing. And it really kind of helped my mental health throughout the lockdown. It really put a smile on my face each morning knowing I was going to sit down and listen to Elvis. I'm not a huge Elvis fan, but I think most people know who he is and they recognise the songs. And it was just a lovely way to start the day. It's like, oh, what Elvis song shall I listen to today? So I've created a Spotify playlist. You can sing along to the book. If you search Spotify for Murder at the Seaview Hotel, or if you go to my website, which is glendayoungbooks.com, you'll see the link to the Spotify playlist, and it's also on YouTube as well. If you don't have Spotify, you can sing along on YouTube. So I've got the book now. It came out in August in hardback, ebook and audiobook, and it's out in paperback early November. So you should be able to get it. All the shops will have it. Waterstones in the town have got it. You can get it online, or if you want a signed dedicated copy, I'm more than happy to do that for you if you want to order it from my website. So why Scarborough? Well, I started in Scarborough because I absolutely adore the place. I used to go there on holiday every year when I was a child. My mum and dad used to take me and my two brothers, and we just loved Scarborough. We went to the same bed and breakfast for the same 2 weeks in August, and it's got so many happy memories. And then, you know, you grow up and you start going on holidays with your friends. You go overseas and you think, I'm not going to Scarborough. No, it's just a seaside town in Yorkshire. What's there for me? So it was kind of forgotten for a long time. And then when my dad died, we were all sitting around in my mum's house one day not long after he died, and we were lost, absolutely lost without him, lost in our grief. And my youngest brother said, do you know what we should do? And we all looked at him. He said, we should go to Scarborough and do the things that Dad used to love doing. So we all went. There was 10 of us. And we had a whole weekend doing things that Dad used to love doing. We played karaoke, we crazy golf, we run the bingo, we went to his favourite pubs. We just did everything that we used to do when we were kids, everything that my dad used to love doing, because we all love Scarborough because of my dad. My dad used to adore the place. So after that weekend celebrating Dad's life in Scarborough, I've been back maybe 2 or 3 times every year for holidays, long weekends. And I even got married there as well at the Stephen Joseph Theatre in Scarborough, and one of my brothers was married in Scarborough as well. So it's become a very special place to us. So I knew that when I wanted to write this fun story about the Elvis impersonators that was set in a bed and breakfast, where better than Scarborough? It means I can go there on research, hey, and when again, talking about buoying my mental health up during lockdown last year, sitting down to write each morning, listening to Elvis, typing away, and then being mentally in Scarborough for the duration of the time I write each day, which is normally 2 or 3 hours. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So I wrote the book, sent it off to my agent. She absolutely loved it. She sent it on to the publisher Headline, who are the same publisher who published my Riot sagas, and they loved it as well. And they offered me a 3-book deal to write cosy crimes set in the Seaview Hotel, starring the bed and breakfast landlady Helen Dexter as the sleuth, and she's assisted by her rescue greyhound Suki. So I've got a wonderful 3-book deal going on to write the cosy crime set in Scarborough, as well as my riot set sagas as well. So I'm kind of alternating between the two. I'm writing a cosy crime, have a rest for a couple of months, then write a saga, have a rest for a couple of months, and then it's back to Scarborough for a cosy crime. I couldn't be happier. So just in case anyone would like a very quick kind of roundup of how I got to this position of working and living as a writer, which is something I've always wanted to do ever since I was a little girl, I'll just tell you very quickly. Always used to write, always stories, poems, always making things up, and English at school was my favourite lesson. I was just really interested in the power of words and rhymes and poetry and the way that words sounded on the page, and I just loved writing and creating stories myself. Never thought it would go anywhere. You know, I grew up on a council estate in Ryep. I didn't know any writers, and I didn't think that life would ever be mine. It wasn't something I could aspire to, because it just seemed like I might as well have thought about going to the moon. It just wasn't in my orbit at all. So, you know, I started work, left school, started work. I did a degree in journalism as a very mature student in my 30s at Sunderland University, because that desire to write was always in me, and I wanted to get it out somehow. But I knew that I didn't want to go into journalism. I wanted to be much more creative than that, and I wanted to tell my own stories. I'm a huge Coronation Street fan. I started doing some updates about Coronation Street online, which led to ITV giving me a book deal to update some official Coronation Street books, which was just fantastic. For a Coronation Street fan, that was just the limit. Absolutely fantastic. But while I was doing these Coronation Street books, I always had it in my mind that I really wanted to create my own strong heroines. You know, I was writing the Corrie books, and I was writing about people like Elsie Tanner, Deirdre Barlow, Ina Sharples, Hilda Ogden, all of those fantastic women. But I was fully aware that I didn't create those ladies. They were someone else's creation, and I wanted to create my own. So that's when I started writing short stories for women's magazines, and they started publishing them, which was just fantastic. The People's Friend magazine offered me the chance to start writing their first ever weekly soap opera. It's called Riverside. I've been doing that now for a few years, and I love it. It's the writing highlight of my week. It's funny. I've got this whole cast of characters now in my head that I you know, go and visit once a week and sit down with them on a Wednesday afternoon when I do write Riverside. So from Riverside, I got an agent in London who got me a book deal with Headline, and that's how I started writing my Ryep sagas, and now my Scarborough Cosy Crimes. So basically that's me in a nutshell. I hope that if you read Murder at the Seaview Hotel, you really enjoy it, and I hope that even just a fraction of the joy that I had. Sorry, that was something falling out of the book. I might have to do some outtakes of this video. I thought I would get through it all in one go, and I don't think this is going to work. What was falling out was actually a postcard from Scarborough. So I hope that if you do get it, then just a fraction of the joy that I felt when I was writing it comes through, because I really, really loved it. It's a lot of fun. Yes, there's a murder, but it's a cosy crime. There's nothing gory. There's no blood spilled. And obviously the killer gets their comeuppance. But there's a mystery going on as well, so hopefully the reader will be able to join in. And that's me. If you'd like to know more, please visit my website and come and say hello. It's glendayoungbooks.com. I'm also on Facebook at Glenda Young Author, and Twitter. And when this video fades out, I'll try and do it as professionally as I can. I'll put those links up so you can have a look at them. And thank you again to Sunderland Libraries Literature Festival. This has been an absolute joy to talk about my book, because I love it. And I hope the readers will too. Thank you very much indeed, and it's goodbye from me.